Welcome to Story Scaling by podcastvideos.com, where creators share the truth behind the content, the grind, and the growth. Friends and family, we are back with another episode of Story Scaling. I am Bang of podcastvideos.com. As you know, we are the leading resource for all things audio and video on the planet, and I'm here with a good brother of mine, none other than
John Engleman.
John Engleman. I'm excited to have you.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Our mutual friend Chris had a lot of great things to say about you. I did some research, and I'm like, man, you got some amazing stuff going on with Flavors of Northwest Arkansas.
Well, thank you. I hope some of them are true.
Yeah. So, John, I'm going to read this bio.
Okay.
And you feel free to jump in here, take whatever out you want to take out. Let's add to it. Okay. I want to make sure this represents you perfectly.
Great.
Okay, here we go. It says, John Engleman is the host of Flavors of Northwest Arkansas, a podcast dedicated to capturing the stories behind the region's thriving food scene. Originally from Dallas, John worked in restaurants as a teenager before building a career in radio, television news, and public relations. Now based in Northwest Arkansas, he's returned to his audio roots to spotlight the chefs, bakers, brewers, and entrepreneurs who make the local food community special. With Flavors of Northwest Arkansas, John aims to create a welcoming space where guests can share their journeys honestly in their own words.
It's great.
Is that it?
Sure. That works for me.
Shout out to Chris for that.
Oh, Chris is great.
Tell me, you were saying a little bit off camera. So Chris is one of our like you said, just great guys that we work with. And so how do you know Chris?
It started in, I'm going to say 2009, 2010. Chris was a sports writer up here. And I was the sports anchor at Channel 5 back then, KFSN 5 News.
Right on.
And we would just cover the same events and just became friendly through that and got to know him a little bit. And Chris is great.
Love it.
Love what he's doing right now, by the way.
Love Chris. He's doing great stuff. But this ain't about Chris right now. Chris is not in...
Are you sure? Can we make it about Chris a little bit?
Chris is not in the hot seat. So, John, I got some questions. We could take it wherever we want to take it.
Yeah.
I want it to be conversational, relaxing, just kind of chill. But let's start with the restaurant experience. What was kind of your experience then, and some of the roles that you kind of worked in?
I gotta tell you, when I was 16 years old.
Okay.
And this was in Texas. This is in Dallas.
Right on.
When you're 16, you could finally get a job that wasn't like mowing lawns or things like that. You can get a job at an actual place.
Sure.
Like when you're a kid and you go eat with your family, it's usually for like an occasion or something like that. And it was always fun going to eat at places. So I just decided, well, what better job would it be than to go work at a restaurant?
Yeah.
And so myself, me and my very best friend, who's still my best friend today.
Oh, right on.
We were a couple of 16-year-olds and got a job at a place called Tolbert's Chili Parlor in Dallas. And they've since moved to Grapevine, but it was like smack dab in the middle of Dallas. And we worked there, and we were working with we were very impressionable kids, working with 20 and 30-year-old folks,
sure.
but we worked there 3 months that summer before going back to school, high school, whatever. And it was. We still talk about those stories today.
Wow.
And from that point, in the summers I was working in restaurants. Then in college I worked in restaurants, and even a little after college.
Sure.
So it was always front of house. It was always that first job was as a host.
Yep.
My friend's first job there was bussing tables. So he was the one always going on with cash every night. I was the one that had to wait 2 weeks for the paycheck. So I always thought I picked the wrong thing.
Yeah.
At least at that point.
Sure.
But anyway, eventually at other places I waited tables and then bartended in college. And there were a couple times where I had to jump back and work in the kitchen if someone didn't show up.
Yeah.
Back in the day in college. So got a little taste of that. And it was a long time there for 6-7 years working in restaurants.
Wow.
and bar and grills, if you will.
Sure.
And it was great.
I'm curious, how did your own personal experience affect how you now view hospitality, or now you're helping tell some of these stories, like how did your own personal experience affect how you tell the story or your storytelling?
I mean, it really works in. But here's the thing: a lot of people I'm interviewing, they're all chefs and cooks. They're in the back of the restaurant. And I didn't do a whole lot of that.
Sure.
It was always kind of a substitute thing. But I'm, as far as getting into it and over time, listen, I'm still learning,
Right.
doing this with them right now and talking with them, especially breweries, distilleries, bakeries, all these different types of places. But I will say, at every spot of the restaurant, there are stories.
Yeah.
They're great stories, and they're nothing's better than when I'm doing an interview and it goes off road
Right.
with something that you're not expecting.
Sure.
And there have been some great ones like that.
Yeah. So you worked on radio.
I did. This was back in Dallas.
Okay.
I started back there. You know, it's a competitive market for radio, or at least it was back in the early 2000s.
Sure.
In order to get where I wanted to get, I had to learn to run the board at several places, and I eventually worked my way up to chasing tape and doing updates at the Ticket, which is a sports station there. And I also at the same time was doing weekend mornings at a rock station.
Wow.
So anything to be able to pay for my 30 square foot apartment at the time, which, you know, it's like opening the door and walking into a coffin. All right, I'm home. So anything to pay for that. That was in Arlington, by the way, at the time. So, but yeah, it was great. I mean, I had a lot of fun with it. And, you know, that was probably my first love professionally, was radio.
Right on.
Yeah.
You go from radio to TV news?
Well, sports, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You know, after time at the Ticket and graduating college at UT Arlington.
Okay. Shout out to UT.
Shout out to UT Arlington.
Shout out to UT Arlington.
There you go. UT Arlington. Go Mavs.
Are we shouting them out? Is that
Yeah,
okay.
Mavs. Let's go, baby.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go Mavs.
Tell me about it.
So, you know, after I graduated, there were the places that I was working.
Sure.
Weren't anything available full time, and I had been itching to obviously have a full time job as opposed to, you know, several part time jobs in radio with no benefits, etc.
Right.
So I wanted to get into TV, and I made a tape towards the end of college and shot it out. This is VHS.
Wow.
Stop.
Let's go.
Stop.
I remember the VHS days. I remember.
Well, so I put tapes together and sent those out.
Yeah.
I made a tape in school and made a bunch of copies, had a bunch of copies made and sent them out. And I got one response from Sherman, Texas, and it was a CBS affiliate. And ended up getting a couple of interviews there and getting the job, and away we go.
You remember how many you sent out?
40.
Oh, wow.
40.
Yeah.
Might have been 41, 42, but I remember 40 was the threshold. And yeah, just one.
Yeah.
It's all it takes.
That's all it takes, baby. It just takes one.
That's it.
So radio, sports, and now you're into podcasting. Talk to me about that transition. Does it feel like a world of difference? Is it a situation where you come in with some familiarity because you were in those different mediums, or is it
All the above.
Yeah.
All the above. Technology is a little different. Things have changed a little bit. Software's changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Continues to change a little bit.
I'll say
A lot bit. But one of the things I did, you know, when I was back in college, I was a TA for radio production. So I would teach, you know, how to cut the actual tape on a wood block with a razor blade, you know, and how to assemble it
really
at the most primitive form ever.
sure.
All the way up to what at the time was, you know, the earlier digital software for radio. So stepping into that, or where I am currently,
Sure.
you have a base.
Yeah.
And then, you know, once you get into TV, you obviously edit video. At the time for me, it was tape to tape. I don't know if you're familiar with tape to tape.
Semi.
But you got two tapes, in point, out point, you
Yep.
hit edit, and one kind of records over the other where it needs to.
Yeah.
Again, pretty primitive. And that was for the majority of the time I was in TV.
Sure.
But at the very end was the early days of Adobe.
Yeah.
And we used that. So I had a little bit of an idea before I got into podcasting. Well, the first year of podcasting was audio only.
Okay.
5 or so months ago, I entered the video realm, and so Adobe Premiere, I had the gist of it, but I had to brush up on a lot.
When was the first year of podcasting period for you?
For me,
Yeah.
you know, I decided to finally do it over Christmas break of 2023.
Okay.
So I launched February of 24.
Still relatively new.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been weekly since.
So
for sure.
Weekly sets.
I've done about 75, I think.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So tell me, take me back to that point of inception, like when you had the idea and you were like, "Man, I got to run with this." Was it a lightning bolt moment, or was it just like how they portray in the movies? Like, Talk to me about that.
You know those cartoons when we're kids and they're hanging the carrot over the horse to make it walk?
Yep.
I feel like that carrot had been hanging over me for a couple of years because I've been wanting to do something like this. And I have a former coworker, previous to coming to do TV news here, I did it in El Paso, Texas.
Right on.
And a guy I worked with there went on to Savannah, Georgia, and he ended up starting a food TV show. And now it's blown up into something bigger. He's done books.
Wow.
He's got a podcast. He's done all sorts of. It's called Eat It and Like It with Jesse Blanco. It's great. Anyway, seeing what he was doing there and how we're growing here, it's just been something that I've been like, I really need to do that. It's something I should really look at doing. And towards the end, I was really to the point where I'm like, I'm going to do it. I just got to do it. And what made it real over Christmas break 2023, I thought, let me get a logo made. And then once I see the logo, I think that'll be be real. That'll be the time where it's time to shift into gear.
Yeah.
And I got the logo made and I looked at it and I thought, oh, here we go. Here it is.
Yeah, it's official now.
It's official. That's what it took. Yeah.
I love it. So now, when you have an idea for an episode, is it a guest in mind? Do you have your list of like, man, I gotta get these people? How does that happen when you think of?
It's pretty fluid.
Okay.
There's some that I've been talking with for 6-7 months.
Right on.
And it's matching schedules. There's some that reach out to me.
Yeah.
There's some that I reach out to. It's pretty fluid. I try to keep a couple, 2-3 interviews when I can.
Sure.
And I'm not doing well at that right now.
Yeah.
But it's always harder over the holidays and whatnot, like 4th of July. And so I'm building back up. But, ideally, that's the play for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
When people come on, is it a automatic, comfortable conversation just flows? Do you have to make them comfortable? And if so, then how do you go about making sure?
It's a great question. Because I had to learn along the way. Because now I had some really, really, I was really fortunate because my first couple, 2, 3, 4 interviews were people that made me comfortable. And that made the whole difference.
Yeah.
The absolute difference.
Yeah.
But, then there comes a time where it's not. It can be a little bit of a struggle when you're thinking to yourself, okay, I can't let this be a struggle. So what I found was I'm sitting down with my guests beforehand, before we turn anything on. Well, now I turn the cameras on so they don't shut off and I don't have to reset them. But before we turn everything on, I sit with them and I go through questions, kind of like what you were earlier. I'll sit with them and I'll be like, if there's anything you want me to add, we'll add it. If there's anything you're not comfortable with, we'll take it off. And that really kind of alleviates because they don't know if I'm coming in being like a investigative reporter type or something like that. Or, hey, I heard you're starting a new place over here. Is there any truth to that? Yeah. Or just, so I think once we get into that and talk through that, the chemistry starts to build, the comfortability starts to build, and I think that's really worked out really well.
Sure.
Yeah.
What's the biggest thing you've learned about yourself through this podcast? Like I said, it's still relatively early on in your journey. I mean, 70 episodes is no small feat by any stretch of the imagination. You know what I mean?
But over time, it's new.
But you know what I mean? So like, what's that thing or maybe a couple things that you look and you're like, oh man, I didn't know this about myself, or this is something new for me.
Yeah. I know I drink too much coffee. Especially when I'm up till 2 a.m. trying to make the 3 a.m. window I have for uploading, which, But anyway, no, I think there's some technical things for me personally that I continue to try to work on. But when I get so locked in on an interview, it all goes out the window. Yeah. As far as interview style and tactics go, tactics aren't the right word, kind of technical flow.
Sure. Yeah.
So there's a lot of that I'd like to work on and get better with.
Sure.
But I think that it really kind of shocked me out of the gates. The editing, the flow, and the format of the way I'm doing it has outside of adding video, of course, has really, it kind of took form early. And I thought, this is something we'll just take a shot with this format, which was you know, the bio, and then the food or the drink or the bear, whatever it is, in the two segments. And then later I added a food news segment at the top, and it's worked out to flow fairly well. And I think that surprised me, because I thought I'd end up having to be fluid until I really found something. And,
Sure.
And it kind of clicked early on, and I think it's something that, you know, I'm always up for you know, changing things up a little bit, but that seems to be something that everyone's amenable with.
Yeah.
And it works pretty well. And, you know, especially with food news out front, I think it's extended our listener and viewership a little bit longer.
Sure.
Yeah.
Are you a podcast listener?
I am.
Who do you listen to, or A, just for like entertainment stuff that you enjoy, and then B, who do you listen to that's like, man, they're really killing it. I like how they do, you know, whether that's, I like how the conversation is just light. I like how they structure their episodes. Like, who do you listen to for more like enjoyment, and then who are you listening to kind of steady?
I don't have a lot that I listen to, just because I don't have a lot of time to listen, because, you know, it makes me think, God, I suck.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. But I love listening to Smartless, because those guys are great. I know everybody does. Occasionally I try to sneak in, what's the one with the Kelsey brothers?
Oh, God. I know what you're talking about. Those dudes are so good.
Yeah, they're great. They're great.
I do video, so like I'm looking at their shorts and their social media content. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, they're just good at what they do.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything looks clean. It's funny. Like.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that, because going back to what I learned about myself, I need to get better at social media, by the way. Side note.
We all do.
Side note, right?
Yep. Yeah.
But back to podcasts, those two, and you know, occasionally I'll find something, but it's usually comedy.
Sure.
It's usually lighthearted. It's usually something for me to break away, because if I'm thinking of learning something, I'm so impatient that I'll just Google and go from there.
Right on.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not good at you don't know what you don't know, because that kind of information that creeps up on you, you're like, oh, I didn't know that. I'll rarely find that, because I'm usually something, go find, go on to the next.
Yeah. You're self-producing everything by yourself.
Yep.
Talk to me a little bit about that process, because I think before I started working here, I didn't realize how much went into even a audio-only podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot that goes into it. And so talk a little bit about that process of just...
Oh, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I mean, part of what we want this show to be is laying it out. So for you who you find the guest and you come up with the question, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Now's the time. Lay it out. Like,
sure.
What all goes into that?
Well, it's all that. I mean, that's the start of it. The start of it is, it's kind of a, if they don't reach out to me, if there's someone I want to reach out to, I send them a letter with my background, what I've done, what I do currently. Here are the links to wherever you can watch or listen to the podcast, and on a rare occasion I'll follow with like a phone call.
Right on. So let's break it up in segments. That's guest curation first.
Yes.
You got to curate the guest.
Indeed. Well, even previous to that, my own research. Okay. My own research to find, you know, contact information or who I'm reaching out to.
Yep.
And then reaching out, and then obviously scheduling a date, time and date, which is great. And then, man, it is make sure, it's technical now. You ready to get technical?
Let's get techie.
Okay. All right. Well, first off, I use 3 cameras, and it's DJI Osmo Action Force. And I picked those because of several reasons. And I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I grew up shooting in TV with a camera on my shoulders. In small markets, you do that. And one of the things I learned is once you put a camera on a tripod, you don't walk away from it. Well, these DJIs have kind of a cover you can put on them, kind of like a cell phone cover, if you will.
Yeah.
So if it falls over, more than likely it's going to be fine.
Right on.
So I make sure, depending on where they are, with how much memory is used on the card on each of them, how much battery I've got left in them. Sometimes I'll record and drain them out, and then I'll, plug them back in, get them to 100%, and then wipe the card and be ready to roll.
Sure.
Sometimes I'll, just plug them in if they're like at 20%, build them back up. I told you we're getting soup and nuts.
No, let's go.
We're doing
this
it,
is what we need. This is it.
So anyway, I get those ready. I've got, lights, not near as good as these. But they're podcast lights. If I get them close enough, they'll, with that and color correction, it'll balance out and be okay with color temperature and everything. Color temperature, sorry, I don't want to get to.
Like you're doing some post and everything.
Oh yeah. So I'll do that. I'll set up. Once I'm there.
Sure.
Like I said, I'm all battery, so I can go set up anywhere. When it was audio first, when it was audio only, I set up on a farm. Over at Cobblestone and Fayetteville because I feed the homeless.
Yep.
So that was a fun story. But anyway, so I will get set up. I'll set up audio first, which is PodTrack 4.
Okay.
I'm familiar with those.
Right on.
I've got those. It's got 4 channels on it, so I can do up to 3 guests a night.
Yep.
And on it, you can also put a cell phone. There's a cell phone switch in there, and there's also a Zoom for laptop switch on there.
Yep.
So it's really versatile. I did not want to use that because it was plastic.
Sure.
And I thought, I want something that looks more reliable, that looks stronger. And every review, every place I went for doing podcasts in the field, it kept coming back to that. Recent equipment. And it's been great.
Yeah.
It's been great. So I'm happy that I made that purchase. And then Zoom, headphones and microphones.
Yep.
And XLR cables, get them all set up for how many guests I'm having. Let's just say it's one-on-one like you and I are.
Yep.
I'll take my 3 cameras, I'll put one on me, one on the guest, and there's 2-shot. And I'll get that set up. And, it's not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
You know that.
Absolutely.
So I always try to keep it a little bit loose so I can zoom in post-production.
Yep.
And make sure that, make sure I don't cut a head off or anything like that, beforehand,
I admire what you do, but I don't envy it.
Oh, it's a bear.
Yeah.
It's a bear, man. And let me tell you, those cameras, they'll turn themselves off.
Yeah.
So when they turn themselves off, you got to reset, resume, and do all that kind of stuff. Wow. So I start rolling early on it just so it'll keep its position. Like, ooh, that's perfect. Roll.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, it's awful.
Yeah.
Transferring those files, those gigs of files over.
Yeah.
Anyway, so interview goes through. I leave the cameras on. I will record on the PodTrack 4, the audio part.
Yep.
And I'll stop between segments.
Yep.
Easier to edit that way.
Okay.
And you can sync up. You can let Adobe Premiere sync up by itself afterwards. And do you guys use Adobe?
So I don't do much of the editing.
Okay.
But I know when I got here, we were using it. I'm not sure what we use now.
Gotcha.
But we were pretty early on.
Well, and some of the longer podcasts, which no one should ever go an hour, and I've done it like 5 times.
Yeah.
But the stories just keep going and going and going, right? No one should. You know that. So anyway, there are times where I start to get concerned about camera battery, but they've always lasted. They've always gone through, so that's worked out. Yeah. Anyway, so after the interview, I pack up, put everything up, go back home. Got my little office at home, and I just start downloading audio and video.
Wow.
I pull it over from the PodTrack and from the cameras into my Mac, and then when it's time to edit, I pull it into Premiere Pro on the cloud.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing, storage. That's the worst thing of all. The worst thing of all. I know. How do you guys store?
So we use Google.
Cloud?
Yep.
Good.
And then, like I said, I primarily do social media here,
right.
Some marketing. So there's a lot of stuff that I haven't even been fully hands in on because I knew once we started using the cloud, we started exploring others. So we still got external hard drives too.
Yeah.
And then I think some other sophisticated stuff that we figured out now. But I'll tell you what, I didn't realize that you could use up a terabyte so fast. I'm a musician, so I make music, and so I look at 100 gigs, and I'm like, oh man, this can last me, and then a terabyte, I'm like, man, this is huge. But when you get into video and audio, and like you said, maybe even weekly, you can run through that terabyte quicker than you think.
Listen, the interview that I put up this morning, the gigs from the raws on that, over 100.
Oh my! On one interview?
On one interview. Keeping those raws, I keep them 3 weeks and I have to dump out.
Yeah.
Because I got 2 terabytes on the cloud.
Yeah.
I got 2 terabytes on a external drive on Passport. And that's it. Oh my God. I know.
You can run through it so fast.
so quick.
Yeah.
And I'm on the Apple Cloud, and you know, if your internet's not strong, it takes months to pull it down.
That's another thing.
And my office is above the garage, and the hub is downstairs.
Yeah.
So I know I need to get a mesh up there, so it's a little bit stronger up there. But it does. Listen, if I have a problem, listen to this. If you have a problem,
Yeah.
or you've got to hop out of something and you got to restart your Mac or your computer, you restart it, a lot of that video goes back into the cloud. And when you're pulling it back down, it's going to be another 30 to 40 minutes because you had to restart your computer. I know.
I didn't think about that.
I know. At least that's what it was. It's been that for me several times.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what would you say, we're talking the episode you shot earlier, was that today that you recorded that, or was that, you said just...
No, I posted it today.
Okay.
No, it was recorded, I recorded it the morning of the 4th of July. It was Rafael Rios and Matt Cooper, the two chefs that were in the finalists for... They were in the top 5 for Best Chef of the South. Jeff Beard Awards.
Let's go.
So I talked to them.
That's pretty tight.
The morning of the 4th of July.
Cool.
Great guys.
So
really enjoyed it.
So how much time would you say? I know it's hard to quantify because it depends on how fast is upload happening, how long did the interview go, and so on and so forth. But give us a rough estimate time frame per podcast. How much time are you spending recording, editing, uploading, posting per pod?
Well, I time it to go out at 3 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday morning.
Okay.
And then after it posts, I will, the next day, like today I did this morning, I'll, put it out on social media.
Sure.
So that's usually the end point, and that's when I'm, free for a couple hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, gosh, beginning to end, it really varies.
Sure.
But if I had to guesstimate, I'd say 12 to 16 hours.
I was saying probably 10, or a little bit more than 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I need buffer time because, for instance, if I didn't have that external hard drive last night, I'd have been up the creek because I need to clean out my media cache files in Premiere. And that takes hours.
Yeah.
So I just went around it, did that, and today when I get home, I'll just hit the delete on that and just watch it start to go. Takes forever. I know, it's brutal.
Yeah. Well, again, that's something you just don't think about. I know for me, I heard somebody say effortless and simple is time consuming and expensive.
No question.
You know what I mean?
No question.
And when you see somebody that's doing a podcast and it looks clean, it looks simple, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's high quality, it sounds good. These are things that your subconscious mind just picks up. You don't even realize that you're paying attention.
Sure.
It takes time, but it takes a lot, and like I said, for you, I admire what you do, but
Thank you.
I do not.
So much trial and error.
Yeah.
So much trial and error. And a lot of times when you do a podcast, that error, that's your shot.
Yeah.
And you just have to cut things out sometimes. I've been fortunate recently. Is there some wood I can knock on here right here? Yeah. But at any point, it's hard to think technically while you're doing interviews. It's you got several things going on at once. Now, once you got everything rolling and you double check that everything's going, then you can shift into it.
Yeah.
But if you hear something starting to happen with one of the cameras or something like that, good luck to you.
have you had to re-record it? Have you?
I have once, yeah.
Okay.
I have once.
That's pretty good. 1 out of 70.
Well, yeah, I think so. But I think it was during a time when I had done several, like within a very short frame of time of each other, and I was kind of out of it.
Yeah.
And but they were very gracious in letting me come back and do it, and everything ended up going well. But they were great. But when I got home, I thought, oh no, because only one camera worked and stayed on it. It was the one pointing at me.
We've done that. Yeah, we've done that multiple times.
Have you?
Oh yeah, for sure. I know. It's brutal. It's brutal.
Yeah,
it's brutal.
It is.
There's been times where we've forgotten to turn the mics on, or like you said, had a camera angle that, was a little bit off, and it just got to do the whole thing.
Oh, it's so It's so panic-inducing. Like once you're back in your studio, you're editing and you see it and you're like, the sweat starts.
Well, that's interesting you said that, because that's something that I don't even think about. Because here at podcastvideos.com, there are people for every small little thing.
Okay.
So there's someone who put this logo up here. There's somebody who set the cameras. There's, now I'm speaking.
Sure.
When I'm done, we're finished, we pass it off to an editor. And so
That's great.
You can almost compartmentalize and kind of focus. But for you, you're the producer, you're the editor,
Man.
you're the interviewer. And so I can't even imagine. It almost probably takes two sides of your brain to focus on the conversation you're having. But then thinking in the back of my mind, is that camera still in focus? You know what I mean? Like, you got to wear two hats.
I know, and thank God for autofocus.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I get in tight in post-production, though, it gets a little blurry, except the microphone is perfect.
Yeah.
It focuses on the microphone right before the face, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
And that's nothing there's nothing I can do about that with just cameras, but I just, loosen it up a little bit and you're fine. But, there's also when I started and I would set up those 3 cameras, I remember editing and I had already put it on YouTube and done. I look at the very outside of the frame, you see a little bit of the camera right in the frame. You're like,
the small things.
Just things like that.
The small things.
Yeah.
Tell me about an episode that surprised you. Whether that's the direction that it took, or that I was, the guest that you were able to get on, just something. And I'm putting you on the spot. I know you have a plethora.
Yeah.
But tell me about a time, you had an episode that it really surprised you.
Gosh. Well, I've talked about this one a lot recently, just because there's several. I mean, there's plenty.
Sure.
But Circuit Peters over at Mezzaluna in Bentonville. I don't know if you've ever been to Mezzaluna.
Yeah, the Mexican restaurant.
Well, Mezzaluna is the Italian restaurant on A Street in Bentonville, just off the square.
Haven't been there. Nope.
It's really good.
Haven't been to that.
Really good. Anyway, I interviewed Chef Circuit Peters. He's originally from Germany, and he was the executive chef of the 1990 World's Fair in Russia and Siberia.
And what?
You never know what you're going to run into in Northwest Arkansas. You never know. So I'm interviewing him. He's talking about flying over and having to switch into a different plane. Once you get into Russia, you get into one of their planes. And he gets in the plane and they're flying over to where the World's Fair is. And they land and he meets the people. And he's like, all right, tell me where I'm going. Where's the hotel? They're like, oh, no. On this plane, it's full of food. It's nothing but food, him and 2 other people. Wow. They said, no. You've got to feed Gorbachev in 3 hours. So he that was a surprising story. And he talks more about that and how he fed that. Then they supplied him with all the cooks in the area, businesses. They all shut down and they all came to work for him. That was an amazing one. There's Kaya Chocolate, a guy named Rick Boosie who is the owner operator there, and he was trying to cut out the middleman for the chocolate world. And he went down to Ecuador. And he took his girls, thought it would be a great learning experience for them and the whole bit. And they're on their way out. And they're staying in a hotel room. And he sees one of his daughters fly across the room. 7.2 earthquake. And they're on the 4th floor.
7.2?
7.2 earthquake. And they're on the 4th floor. And he said, one of the things about it was, once everything settled down and they were finally on their way out, previous to them getting to that hotel, they had to cross a bridge. That bridge collapsed in the earthquake.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I think his phrase, I think he said something effective, it's a lot different than driving to Bentonville.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, that was a good one too. Man, there's so many. I mean, Nellie B's Bakery in Elkins. Are you familiar with them at all?
I just recently heard the name.
Yeah.
Have they been there a while? Are they newer? Okay.
They've been there a while.
So I just recently heard of them.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what
It's a mother-daughter team. And the mother, previous to this, she ran like 7-8 gourmet bakeries in the Bay Area.
Oh, wow.
And she moved here because she met a man online. They ended up getting married. Her family comes down here and they opened a bakery, and it's really, really, really good. And we were getting towards the end of the podcast, and I was kind of like,
Can you spell Nellie B for me? I'm sorry. I want to make sure I check them out.
Nellie.
Okay.
and B apostrophe S, Nelly B's.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyway, they were talking towards the end, and they said, one of the things they weren't prepared for was dirt road deliveries. They got wedding cakes, and they're hopping around in the back of a car. They had no idea. Learning experiences like that.
Yeah.
There's some fun stories along the way. Gosh, there's so many more. I know I'm leaving a million out, but there's some great stories in our area, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you hyper local to Northwest Arkansas specifically? I know it's Flavors of Northwest Arkansas, but is that,
It's kind of it's regional.
Okay.
But yes, it's Northwest Arkansas, but if it's going to be outside of Northwest Arkansas, it'll be like the Choctaw Casino down in Bacola.
Got it.
I interviewed the celebrity chefs when they had their thing there.
Oh.
So I got to interview Rocco DeSpirito, Tiffany Faison, and yeah, I mean, it was great. It was so great. But like that, people up here go to things like that there. Mm-hmm. Or if it's, some other event somewhere else that's close. I mean, I still kind of think Eureka Springs is Northwest Arkansas, and I'll be doing interviews there and et cetera. But if it's close and people do like a long weekend there or something like that, then it's kind of a tight regionality.
Sure.
Yeah. Why
is it important to tell these stories?
Listen, man. I'm going to go ahead and apologize for saying this, but a while ago, someone said, "You're kind of a story whore, aren't you?" I'm like, "Well, yeah." Listen, my mom was a big biography person. Mm-hmm. I've gotten into biographies. I love people's backgrounds. I just, I think storytelling is so important in so many avenues and so many things that we do and so many businesses.
Sure.
We don't know what we have here with some of these people and some of these places. Heck, all the places.
Right.
It's unbelievable. You've got so many people that have really worked in really outstanding places outside of Northwest Arkansas. It's just unbelievable with some of these chefs, what they've done and where they've been, and now they've got their own place and it's here.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I mean, they've worked for Michelin star people.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Who is give me your Mount Rushmore guest list. people, whether, now this is, we're stepping out a little bit, because whether it's local that you haven't gotten to yet, or it could be, beyond. Who's that list of?
Gosh, I will tell you one that I'm chasing right now, because I don't want to leave people out that I've interviewed, but one that I am chasing right now, trying to chase. Fingers crossed. The guys at Slim Chickens, the guys that started that and put that together. I want those stories from back in college all the way through. I think they've got an amazing story of starting something in Fayetteville, and now it's around the world.
So the owner of this company, Eric Allerton, and one of his really good friends, Mark Zweig, have a podcast called Big Talk about small business.
Yeah.
They interview owners, founders, get the fire story. Yeah. Okay, right on. And so they had, oh gosh, I wish I could remember his name. They had the gentleman who started Slim's Chicken on there, and great guy.
Yeah.
But I remember when I first came here, and I used to just eat Slim's Chickens because that was just what we did. I had no idea that it was the one on Wellington is the first one. Right? Is it that one?
Well, it was the one on College that they've now torn it down, and they've now put up a it's going to be kind of like a what are those fly-through, drive-through type places? Drive-through only.
Right on.
And they're opening at the end of this month.
Really?
Yeah. So that was the original. It was that old stone building.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I had no idea it was local here. He's coming in talking about how they're going international and they got some in, whatever the case may be.
Sure.
I'm just like, wow. So, yeah. Fingers and toes crossed that comes through. You're going to get that one.
I know. I'd love to have that. And listen, there are so many people that I've interviewed that would be on that Mount Rushmore. Yeah. Honestly, it's just a wealth of stories in our area.
Yeah.
In the food and drink service industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing about Northwest Arkansas. There's so much, like you said, that you just don't know until you get to talking to somebody, and it's like, wait a second, what happened? How did you?
Yeah. Yeah.
The World Fair. What? Now you're here. You're at a restaurant.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. And gosh, I'm just thinking back. There's some with big history.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Venetian Inn. They just celebrated 78 years. And I interviewed them earlier this year, and they're it's been in the same family the whole way.
Wow.
But I think it's the fifth or sixth owners right now. And I mean, you would talk about a place with history.
Yeah.
Over there also, Tawny Town Winery. All the grape growing out there, the history there. That's makes for some really great stories.
Yeah. Yeah. When you just want a good meal, where are you going?
Oh, I love cooking.
Okay. All right.
I know that's kind of a I'm kind of cheating my way out of it.
No.
I love cooking.
What are you whipping up right now? You just, let's say you got something you want to celebrate, you want to treat yourself. What are you whipping up?
I'm probably gonna do ground chicken, meatballs over penne with sage. And I've made that several times. I had, someone made it for me once. A former coworker made it for me, and she had just finished going through Brightwater, so she knew what she was doing.
Right on.
And she made it for me, and I thought, this is the most heavenly thing ever. I'm like, how did you do this? And she's like, I'll send you the link. She's like, oh, it's a recipe. Good. I thought she just did from her head and everything.
Yeah.
But I love doing that, man. I love shrimp and grits.
It's a good one.
Yeah,
It's a good one.
those are usually my go-tos. Maybe a little pasta here and there. Yeah, love doing that. And when it's grilling time, I'll grill chicken outside. I like doing steaks on the cast iron outside.
Yeah.
And I've got rosemary and thyme in my garden. I just go snip some off, throw it in there, and put a dollop of butter in there, and just kind of baste. Yeah, so.
I just got a cast iron.
Did you?
I did.
Your first?
My first.
Yeah, have you got it ready?
I say my first. My very first one was really tiny. Didn't really know how to,
Right.
use it. But yeah.
What are the small ones for brownings?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. We have those too, yeah.
And so,
Right.
I got another one. Been cooking some chicken on it. And
Nice.
Just some different stuff. But
Nice.
Excited about it.
They're great, man. They're great. Just got to remember to wear a glove
Right.
once it's hot.
Exactly. What is a word of advice, encouragement, insight you have for the future creator of,
Yeah.
the next flavors of Northwest Arkansas or any type of, media that they want to release? What's something that you would say to the early content creator, the aspiring content creator?
Find the podcast that you like or the podcasts that you like and reach out to them and say, hey, I'm thinking of doing this. Here's what I think I need to do. Am I close? What do I need to do? It's kind of like, in the field that I'm in, I've noticed, especially here in Northwest Arkansas, all the breweries help each other out. I feel like podcasts are kind of the same thing.
Sure.
I think with podcasts, people are, unless you're like, I'm going to take all your listeners and viewership and the whole bit.
Yeah.
But usually people are really open to helping. There is Arcast. Look up Arcast, Arkast. Are you familiar with Arcast?
Yep.
Those guys and
Yep.
Ty King over there. Those guys are very helpful. Reach out to you.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Anything in the works that we should be looking forward to that you got going on?
Well, I also have another podcast going on, but it's once a month.
Okay.
It's called Be in the Know, BIEN, and I do it with Chef William Mock over at Bienvenue.
Okay.
And it's really kind of a focus on what's going on there. He does recipe questions and answers. We usually have a guest on. Sometimes we don't. The last episode was after the Springdale Street Dinner.
Sure.
That he was the chef for. So we were just all talking about that. And it's usually pretty good. He and I have good chemistry, so it's good back and forth. So Be in the Know, and it's audio only.
Sure.
Yeah.
I know.
A much quicker edit.
Yeah, right now. I bet.
Right.
I know this is probably impossible to say just because everyone's so different, but is there a common thread of personality trait or characteristic that you see with chefs? in your experience, typically more confident? Are they more curious? Like, has there been a through line that you've been able to pinpoint that's like, man, this is a characteristic of the chefs that I meet?
Yeah. A lot of them, and I mean this in the best way possible, a lot of them are in positions to where they have to control, and they seem to control sometimes, and those are the good ones.
Yeah.
The good ones are stubborn and controlling, but they don't, they're not, hard on their staff or anything like that. But the good ones, I really find that the most successful ones tend to be that way, and the ones that are a little more passive and a little more understated seem to not, we're talking like executive chefs, not like sous chefs and people that are on the lines and things like that.
Totally.
And I'm not sure I've met any real passive ones or any really passive ones, but you could tell who the executive chefs are for sure.
Yeah.
And they have the most to lose because they have skin in the game if they're part owner too.
I mean, talk to us about the difference between, everyone that cooks in the kitchen is not necessarily a chef, correct?
Right. Well, yes.
Yeah, I mean, you correct me.
It depends on the kitchen. I mean, we could go to Waffle House right now, and the person cooking's not a chef, or we could go like Bienvenue, and there's chef, sous chef, and it depends on how big the kitchen is, how fine the dining is, and the experience of those that have been hired.
What is the line there between just somebody being a kitchen cook and a chef? Is it experience? Is it schooling? Is it what makes a person? I
think it could be all of those.
Okay.
I think experience is a huge part of that.
Yep.
Obviously, schooling. If you get the white coat and you've graduated, then yes,
sure, you're
a chef. I think.
Yeah.
And you would probably do better asking chefs this one.
You're the expert here, John. John, it's you. You're the expert.
I don't know about that. However, but I think that's probably. I know there are some really good chefs out there that did not go to chef school.
Yeah.
And they crank out some amazing food.
Sure.
Yeah.
I met a gentleman. So you said it's a Michelin star. What is that? Is that a rating for?
Yeah, it's a rating for restaurants. Okay. So the best are 3-star, and 1-star is still amazing.
Yeah, right on.
And they're. I mean, we don't have any here. I know there's a 1-star in Texas now, but everything else is on either coast, of course. And
really?
Overseas, yeah. So those are the Michelin folks do get out, and I found out recently it was part of Michelin Tires that started this. And they started it as, back in the day, a guide for your road trip.
Oh, wow.
Places to eat. Way back in the day. I know, it's really...
I always wondered that. I always wondered if there was a tie there.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure I'm not doing it justice, but it's along those lines.
No, that's good enough for us.
Yeah.
I met a gentleman, he worked at a Michelin star restaurant in Paris, I want to say, or France or something. If they have those. I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
But he told me, I'll never forget this, we were both judges at a soup competition here locally a year or two ago. And he said a garnish should be functional and edible.
Mm-hmm.
And I never forgot that piece of information. Yeah. I cook every now and then, but I don't make the type of meals where I'm garnishing things.
Oh, yeah.
But that stuck with me. Like, that's something that I never forgot. It should be, people make these garnishes, and he's like, I mean, you can't eat that, so I don't know why they would put that on it. So it stuck with me. Yeah. What's a piece of information, advice that you've heard from a chef or received from a chef that's just stuck in your mind?
Whew. And I go recently with Matt Cooper over at Conifer and Wren. He was brought up in kitchens where, and in a little bit of the older days, where chefs would jump down your throat, cuss at you. I mean, the whole thing. Kitchen environment. I'm sure have you watched The Bear?
I haven't seen the whole thing, but...
Okay. So some of the episodes, you'll see the kitchen scenes, and it's pretty fiery, and you're running behind, you're what they call in the weeds.
Yeah.
It can get pretty much like that. But he said that was what really pushed him to want to not be that way and set a standard of not being that way, and hope that people that come through, his line end up not being that way, and if they go elsewhere, they're not that way. If that makes sense, and that stuck with me a little bit for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it like sports almost. Like you get an intense coach that's like, super, super passionate.
Hey, 3rd and 17, 40 seconds left on the clock, and you're on your 30. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Man, John, this has been a pleasant time.
Yeah, it's been great. Thank you.
I appreciate you hanging out with us. Anything else you want to drop in there or share, or anything else you got?
Nothing I can think of other than, I always outro my podcasts with tip your servers.
Love it.
Tip your servers. I was a server, and I think because of that, I tend to maybe over tip at times.
Yeah.
But it's because I've been there.
Tip your servers.
Yeah, tip your servers, man. Always. And listen, if you're in an environment where, it looks like a server's got way too much going on, and maybe someone didn't show up for work and now they have to cover more, give them a little time. Give them a little grace.
Yeah.
A little bit of grace. It goes a long way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Flavors of Northwest Arkansas drops every Wednesday
Every Wednesday.
at 3 a.m.
Well, yes, that's when they should. Yeah.
But by 8 a.m., we should be listening to it.
There you go.
Okay.
Absolutely. Or, 6, whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
Flavors of Northwest Arkansas drops every Wednesday.
That's it.
This is Story Scaling with Barry and John Engleman, and we appreciate you. See you next time.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, tip your servers.